Yo, 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 I'm going to be Brian Foster right now, and welcome to the End of Zone podcast. It's your girl, Sean Foss. Did anybody find that as funny as I did? Hey, y'all, it's me, Sean. Welcome to ITZ 2024.
No doubt.
We're going to bring in the new year. You know we always come in with something good right at the top of the year. We trail off toward the end because it's hard to think of topics, but at the beginning of the year, we'll be on it. It's not even going front.
There's a year worth of liquor in it. Dragging.
That's true.
So.
Hey.
What up, Zeke? What up, Zeke?
And what the co-hostess with the mostest, B. Foss. Hey, Foss.
I done done about 300 of these shows. This is the first time somebody has co-opted my intro. I don't even know how to feel about this. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, B. Foss. Brian Foss is in the building. Happy 2024. Hope you had a safe holiday season. Hope you brought the new year in the way you wanted to, with the person you wanted to, with the people you wanted to. But we're glad to be back.
Yeah, we are. With a fresh new topic. Because y'all get on my motherfucking nerves on Facebook. So we gon' hop into this.
Not only that, we got new mic stands and shit.
That's what I said when I came in. They fancy up in here.
Somebody got Christmas gifts in the studio.
I know y'all can't see it. But see these little fancy stands.
I can't even knock this over. Boy, we're about to have a good show. All right.
Shout out to the Bronzeville Podcast Studio.
Let's do it.
Giving us fancy shit. All right. So we know we're here to talk about the gender wars. And I found an interesting term for it called hetero-pessimism. Why are you rubbing your head already?
You know, all right, so y'all, if you all watch the show, y'all know I don't like these topics Sean be picking sometimes.
You don't like the gender war because you participate in that shit all day long on my Facebook page. I be scrolling. Women suck. Men suck.
Everybody sucks.
Suck more dick.
Everybody sucks.
Spend more money. Like, all day long. I'm like,
I'm sick of that shit.
But yet, I promise you, an hour ago, I saw your ass participating in one chat. So you ain't that sick.
You might have me there.
So as I said, we all love the good gender wars. And I found a fantastic word for it called hetero-pessimism. And now we're going to have this lovely young woman come up on the screen and define hetero-pessimism.
Lovely is a loosely based word.
I can't stand you.
We're going to kick off the gender wars now. Huh?
Actually,
I'm just going to hear it.
Is it playing?
Yeah, that's the question. I don't think it's playing.
It's playing.
Is it buffering? Can you mute us so we make sure?
Hetero-pessimism consists of performative disaffiliations with heterosexuality, usually expressed in the form of regret, embarrassment, or hopelessness about straight experience. So performative disaffiliations, you are saying, verbalizing that you hate being straight, you hate men, you hate women, or again, depending on your gender, we'll break down more how that shows up for you. But for the most part, it's disavowing the gender that you're supposed to be supposedly attracted to. Verbally, of course, because you're still attracted to them, so you're still hooking up. You may still be performing gender expressions to appear more attractive to someone of the opposite sex. You may be doing all of that, but verbally, you're disavowing the fact that you even do this because you're like,
the new year with misogyny. Why are you starting off the new year with misogyny?
Last year?
Oh my God.
Is that misogynist?
We don't get.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
I agree, and I beheld ugliness in that video. So,
All right. So now that we are clear on what hetero-pessimism is a nice fancy term for the gender wars.
I'm still not really clear
on hetero-pessimism
because I couldn't hear the damn video. So, can you break it down for me real quick?
Why don't you intro the guest and I'll pull up the definition so I'm not speaking out of our ass? How about that?
You know what? I'm going to do that. You go ahead.
All right. Well, while he actually makes himself useful and find a definition of hetero-pessimism, let's bring in one of our favorite ITZ folks, a major alum. He loves coming on for bullshit like this, even though he says we don't bring him on enough for the fuck shit. But he likes coming on for the serious topics. I don't even know why he plays this game. Rob, Mr. Weaver, how you doing?
Time to get back in.
Oh, okay. We'll try to bring Rob in later. How we come into the new year with? We came in with new mic stands, and apparently, I guess, Kate be seen. Let me text him. Log.
I got him. You keep moving.
All right, well, while we're trying to figure out what's going on with Rob, we have a new guest. We know we love bringing in new people and popping that proverbial ITZ cherry.
No doubt.
And I'm going to tell you guys, I found her on Facebook in one of those gender war discourse.
Terrible.
Because I do look at the posts. My exhaustion is always like, are we still talking about this? And I found a clip of her. She was lovely and articulate and brilliant and sassy. So I said, she must be on ITZ.
Thank you.
Why should she not? We have Keisha. How you doing?
Hey, y'all.
I plucked her from the
Where'd you find
PMU.
Keisha?
And PMU?
Which Keisha is this?
Look, Keisha, don't know her last name.
Washington.
Oh, okay, you're not a regular. All right.
I think she is a regular.
Nah, not one of them regulars. Okay.
No, the ones that be posting the gender war bullshit.
You already know. Hey, April, how you doing, baby?
Yeah, so
We'll get Rob in eventually.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I know you over in PMU, so you see the PMU one, but we're better. We're more fun.
I didn't say all that.
We are more fun, and I'll tell Lance that to his face.
Okay. You might be
All right, so Vanna, could you give us the definition of hetero-pessimism, please?
Surely. Hetero-pessimism involves performative disaffiliations from heterosexuality in which straight people discursively distance themselves from straight culture by expressing regret, embarrassment, or hopelessness about straight experiences.
It so eloquently defines these dumbass gender wars, doesn't it?
These disaffiliations are performative in nature.
That part I ride with.
Oh,
There he is.
hey, Rob. Hey, how you doing?
Going on? My bad. I had a little technical difficulty.
So let me start my intro of you over. He's a ITC favorite alum. He always comes on for the serious topics, even though he wants us to bring him on for bullshit. But we just can't seem to find the right bullshit topic to bring you on.
I'm here for the shenanigans.
Today, are you bringing the shenanigans?
We'll see. Especially speaking of which, who the hell told her she get to make that word up? Like
I don't know. She didn't actually. It's a word. It's on.
It's a word.
It's a. He just read the definition.
It's actually a word, bro.
It's in Webster.
Would you read it again
I
since
don't know.
Rob
That was
just
a lot of
joined
big
us?
words in there. I don't want. I didn't stumble the first time. You went tripped me up the second time.
Ryan, most of my disappointment in the word is when she defined it. I was feeling stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
Like.
Mr. Weaver's echoing.
No,
so
we're gonna do the mute us when he talks. Then.
Yes.
All right.
But welcome, Rob. Thank you for joining us. All right. Now that we're all feeling
Ron,
dumb.
when we're not addressing him specifically. Thank you.
So now that we're all smarter by learning hetero-pessimism, a couple of questions we're going to kick off with, and we're going to go with our newbie on this one. So we'll keep it light. Do you agree there's actually a gender war? And if you do, why do you think it's happening? Why am I talking like this?
I have no idea.
I gotta stop.
I don't know what. I was gonna hit it right, but I'm glad you brought it up. I don't know what you're doing right now.
I don't know what I'm doing today.
This is why I'm the
audience.
talent.
It's the new year. It's the new year.
I have a new voice.
New you.
So
Okay, so that is a loaded question. I'm gonna tell you why.
we like loaded questions around here.
Yes. For me, when you say gender wars, it's fair to make inferences to say there once was harmony and now there's destruction.
Ooh.
Okay? And if we're talking specifically about American culture, then this shit has always been a war. There's never been harmony amongst the genders. And we could use some historical facts to break that down.
Damn, she brought an encyclopedia.
She has notes, people. Just so you know.
I'm big on history, y'all. I love history.
She has notes. She's more prepared than us.
Everything that you see in front of you comes from a historical era, right? So this country is built on colonization, right? Am I wrong?
Facts.
Okay. 1400s, you look at the Europeans and you look how they came in. They stood on women were subservient to men. Women couldn't own shit. Women couldn't hold any reign or any powerful leadership roles. Women couldn't even have wealth. You couldn't even own money, right? So you take these people.
The good old days.
I was about to say the good old days.
Mute his ass.
Why you keep unmuting her?
He with it. He with it today.
Rob, quit unmuting yourself till we call
He
you.
is with it.
He wasn't lying though. The good old days. Sorry.
When y'all was slaves, motherfucker, that was the good old days. Yeah,
You know what?
when you
We
were getting
was
your back
actually-
broke.
We was literally of royalty around
I'm
that
about to say
time.
1400s.
Oh,
you weren't
I'm
here.
sorry.
14 to 1600s, that's when you see the influx of Anglo-Saxon folks, explorers, coming over to colonize all these countries with all these melanated people, right? So now we bring us into America, right? You got the Willie Lynch letter. What did the Willie Lynch letter do that was so significant to black people that were enslaved? Anybody know? Separation, my brother.
Ow.
That
Everybody
is-
showing their smarts around this motherfucker today. Okay.
That is the core. If we just talking American culture, Europeans fucked us up to start with. If you're talking black culture, because a lot of us identify as such, Willie Lynch screwed us. He said, put us against one another, and that's how you gonna control the masses. And what happened? We got separated. The masses were controlled. And now you have the influx of the transatlantic slave trade with all these black people being put against one another. Against age, the young against the old, men against women. You had the whole dynamics, right? So now you rolling that over into the 1800s. Emancipation Proclamation didn't come into play until the 1863. We didn't get freed until 1865. Was there any corrective behavior implemented? Was there any unity pushed in front of us? Yes. We had black people say, y'all, we got to establish our own wealth. We got to build our own communities. But there was no corrective behavior on how individuals were supposed to act amongst the genders. You still had a large amount of black women being abused by black men after slavery. There was never a place where they could be together. There was no togetherness, right? So roll that on over into the 1900s. So now you got women's rights, women's suffrage, white women fighting for rights because they too didn't have rights. They still couldn't own property. They still were the property of a white man. So look at the rhetoric that has been passed down from colonization to the 1900s. Where do y'all see equality? Where do we even see togetherness amongst the genders? White or black? Nowhere, right? 1965, yes, 1965 was when we as blacks could finally vote and have some sense of rights. It's where you first see black men really be able to legally own property and actually have a stance in the political, not for real, but in the political space, right? You still have a large amount of black women being mistreated, dogged out, no ownership, no control, no rights.
Ah, the good old days.
The good old days. 1970s roll on around, right? We got the Black Panther Party. Early 1970s strong. What was so impactful about the Black Panther Party? Anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody guess?
I definitely don't.
That is where you first see black excellence. We have no imagery before then of a group of black people standing firm, standing strong, and power to the people. Early 1970s, what was problematic about the Black Panther Party? When you think about the Black Panther Party, what imagery do you come across your mind? What do you see? What is the image that is embedded in your head?
I think of Fred Hampton's death.
Okay.
Leather jackets, froze.
That's
fist
the
in air.
problematic. That's
No, she said what imagery.
No, but you just hit it dead on the head. You see black men, power to the people, leading our folks, rifles, artillery. The only real woman that you see powerful in this way is Angela Davis. And she doesn't even get the right or the forefront to step out in front to say, yeah, I lead the Black Panther Party. There is a documentary on Angela Davis and how she had to separate.
Take a pause for a second. I love all of this,
Yeah.
but we're gonna have to.
No, that's fine.
We gotta
I just want to know.
kind of concise some of this.
Yeah, no.
I feel smarter for having listened to all that shit. So, Rob, come on, jump in.
Colonization messed us up.
That's
Long
all right.
story short.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And we never got it right, and this is the evolution of colonial rule.
Oh, I like her already. God.
You listen to Rob jump in. Right. Go on, Rob. It's on you, brother. There's just
I'm having the worst connection. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but I'm fading in and out. Oh, there it goes.
You can speak.
Okay, good. So what I was, it sounds as if what you're saying, this is just a state of things as they have been for all of existence. Is that what you're trying to say? I just want to make sure I understand.
still, yeah. I think Rob, you still getting some reverb on your end. I'm not sure what it is.
Do you have your volume up over there?
No.
And he's gone. All right, so the last question for you was, and feel free to answer.
Now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's gone down because he's gone.
No. All right, Rob. There you go. Come on back, brother.
Devices.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
I just want to understand. Are you saying that this is kind of how it's always been since
No.
the beginning of time?
For America, yes. For American culture, yes. But when you look at the Egyptians, when you look at ancient Indian cultures, and I mean in India, not like Native American Indians, even when you look at ancient African indigenous people, women were always held at a very high standard. There was harmony amongst the genders. There was never, I'm above you or you above me. It was always understood that we need to cohabitate together to make this shit pop. It honestly, it is only during colonial times that you see this great separation amongst the genders.
If you recall, Brian, I've said something very similar.
I don't be listening to you. But
Clearly.
but what we got to remember is the folks that came over here to colonize this country were all rapists, thieves, murderers, right? These were the lowest of the low of the barrel coming over from Europe. So,
Yeah, but to pretend like because the lowest of the low came here, many of what they did wasn't rampant across Europe or things they learned as part of being
I'm not saying that the highest of the highest
European
were much
culture.
better. I'm just saying that if you want some change, you ain't going to send these motherfuckers over here to
fair.
Fair. And in fact, that was their justification why they colonized all of these different people. Because they said the way that they got down wasn't the way that they knew how to get down. You had third genders prevalent in all these cultures. The way that we separate LGBTQ plus and think they're just so different, that shit is all in the indigenous groups.
Oh, girl, you about to start a fire because, as you know, homosexuality did not exist in Africa. Anyway, Rob, hop up in here.
Ooh,
Somebody gonna say it. I just beating them to it.
y'all don't know they had actual terms and names and they had identities.
Girl,
we ain't gonna do that. We ain't
first,
gonna do that.
just so
That's
we
a whole
clear,
nother show.
That's a whole nother show.
that was bullshit that I just said. That was not true. Rob, please up high up in here.
I felt it.
I understand the angle that she's coming from in terms of there being some kind of
Can we turn
hierarchy and whatever.
It's gonna cover more for reverb.
I think though. I don't know if it's that serious anymore. Anyway, I don't think I'm walking around having gender wars with women. I mean, there might be. I was having this conversation in the barbershop earlier, and it was like, how many women am I necessarily in conflict with off of social media in my life? And it's like very, very limited, right? That I'm having this kind of interaction. I think social media just magnifies it in a way that doesn't even exist, right? I don't have conversations with my friends in which we're like, these damn women. Wait a minute. I do have those conversations.
Yes, you do. We just had one last week.
Damn.
Well, he called me cursing me out.
No.
I was about to call bullshit, but I'm glad you.
Rob, shout out to Rob. Rob calls me every other week to argue about something either he posted or I posted, and it's a gender war conversation all the time.
It's social media, right? It's something
Yeah.
that we are gathering from this universe that we don't even exist in. When we walk around every day, I'm not having gender war issues with anybody. It's just not happening.
So then, Rob, my question becomes, why isn't social media, right, a reflection of what our lives actually look like? Because I agree with you. I'm not sitting around talking about how ain't shit men are 15 million times a day. I honestly don't. Do I talk about it? Of course I do. But those are once a month, twice a month in real life. Social media, that shit's on my timeline. Like, if I scroll, every third one is about how men suck, how women suck.
Social media is about earning money. It's not about being a reflection of us as a society in any way.
Yeah, but no, the people who are commenting are not making a dime off of commenting on Facebook.
But the people who are posting are making plenty dimes because you are engaged and you're commenting and it's going viral. And so it makes sense for them to put content out there that is going to create that reaction. And they want to do it in the multitudes. They don't want to just do it a little bit because of how we react to it.
I'm going to be honest and say that I do have this conversation quite often. I'm sorry. I do. And I'm going to say that it has everything, though, to do with my role as a single mom. And I think that perception is everything. Perspective is everything. As a single mom, if I'm struggling with getting something done for my child because the father isn't as involved as he could be or should be, then yeah, we talking about these niggas ain't shit. They put everything on the mom to do.
Are we good, Ron?
And I know quite a bit of women that share that identity. So it doesn't kick off as let's just talk about men because they ain't shit. It has everything to do with your perspective, what your challenges may be in life, and how it may relate to the gender, the opposing gender, or another gender.
So here's my question to that, and I think that's fair. Because I was just about to say, I think depending on who's having the conversation depends on where they are in life, what their relationship status is, and all these other things.
I totally disagree.
I think it has.
I think everybody.
I'm not saying everybody doesn't have it. I'm saying when the posts I see that start most of this shit are not coming from married women, are not coming from married men, are not coming from women in happy relationships. They might jump in the convo, but they're not starting the convo.
Okay, that may be fair.
So my question is, if you got beef with your child's father, why can't we just say that Marvin ain't shit? Why can't we just talk about Marvin? Why we gotta paint the paintbrush around everybody?
I guess for the same reason I see commentary about
don't say it. The same reason I see commentary about Betty. I'm not. Why in any way, shape, or form can't we narrow that down to the person we got beef with and not paint it with such a broad stroke?
Because people don't have the. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that for?
No.
That's in general.
Because people don't have the ability to. I don't want to say this. I'm thinking about how I want to say this. Because people take, and I'm going to use an example, right? And you guys have seen me do this. On this show, men love to tell me how women trick them into taking them on dates so they can feed them, right? And this is an example. It's going to get to my point.
Motherfucker said that.
No.
You gonna pay that broad?
I know some men.
I have this conversation often. Matter of fact, Jamal, shout out to
Stormy, we got you.
Jamel.
We see you. We can't respond to everything.
Where he tells me this happens a lot. And my question is always like, how often does this happen? And men go anywhere between 20 and 8% of the time, right? And I think we get hyper fixated, this is men and women, about our bad experiences. We get so hyper focused. Instead of talking about the good experiences, all the nice dates, all the women who were nice that you didn't really work out with, or who were fun, we hyper focus on these very small percentages that were assholes, and we don't know how to parse out the fact that you're just going to find assholes sometimes, and they are not the majority of people. And if you are running into a bunch of assholes, you need to do some self-reflection. I digress. We just and I do it too. The bad experience I hyper focus on instead of looking at the majority of people who have been nice and good and kind. And quite frankly, it's kind of boring to focus on the nice and kind shit. It's more fun.
What I was waiting on you to say. Let's be real. Yeah. The bullshit gets clicks, views, comments, and otherwise shares, and the good shit don't.
I'm not even talking about it on a social media perspective. I'm talking about it in real life. In real life, if you listen, I'm a ride on women for a second. I still got y'all, but we're going to ride on a second. Talk a lot about how ancient men are. A lot of the time. But if you actually, again, unless this is somebody who is facing this a lot, and again, you need to do some self-reflection. If you really thought about all the men you've dated, most of them have either been middle of the road. Actually, I would say the majority of them have been middle of the road. But it's more entertaining to talk about how ain't shit y'all are.
Would you agree with
I'm
that?
gonna challenge you guys on this one, and this goes back to my example that I spoke of that says, and it's not to say every man is an ain't shit ass nigga, but and let me say this: the real men don't even get called niggas. We talking about it's a nigga mentality. It's a certain type of black man or person, not even black.
That's right.
That goes into the nigga category, right? And so, fun fact.
I call all types of white people nigga.
Why?
Because they be nigga acting.
I agree. I agree. To my example of the father that doesn't do his due diligence with his children, and I classify that person as an ain't shit ass nigga. The facts show that 80% of single homes are ran by moms where there's no affiliation of father figure, whereas on the flip side of that, 20% of single homes are ran by a father where ain't no mama there. So, do we go by majority rule here? Do we go? So if you go back to your thing,
let me make sure I'm hearing you right.
Yes.
Well, we're saying 80% of single parent homes. We're saying 80% of those are ran by women, and we're talking about complete absenteeism.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're
Yes.
hearing that. Okay.
And it's going back to what you said. What you guys mentioned was
Jamal, you are my nigga. Sorry, go ahead. I want him to hit number 8, motherfucker.
Why do we generalize the few for the majority? In some cases, though, it's a big majority that need to get called ain't shit ass niggas.
So okay.
Come on,
Come on, Rob. I knew Rob was gonna jump in at this point. I knew it.
Got a headache. Something in my spirit.
Maybe you just should use a different example because there's no better father on the planet than a black man.
What other characteristics do we say? Do we want to say cheaters? That's not really a good one because we don't really
I don't
have
know,
truth.
but I'm just saying that might be a bad one because
Okay, so what would you consider an ain't shit ass
our
nigga?
children's lives.
What are the characteristics of an ain't shit ass nigga? What classifies an individual as an ain't shit ass nigga?
Are you asking them or
I'm
you?
asking y'all, everybody. Collectively.
Nigga is really just a nigga that's lazy, a bum, is not doing nothing with his
Fuck
life.
boys are ain't shit ass niggas. Cheaters are ain't shit ass niggas. Broke niggas are ain't shit ass niggas.
See,
We
that's-
can go down the
see,
path.
That's making it too broad. Like, now,
Why?
You just picking on because being broke is not necessarily a problem of
Or a
trait,
characteristic.
personality trait.
Who
I'll give you
says?
that. I'll give you
Who
that.
says that? You just asked the question. I'm not saying I agree or disagree.
She's
All
saying
I'm saying
to
is,
her is that's what
if I just look at what if anybody quantifies an ain't shit ass nigga, because my
You gotta
definition
generalize
versus
it.
what I see on social media are not the same.
Yeah.
But if I look at social media, if you broke, if you cheat, if you got small dick, if you ain't got no passport,
Then that's every
there's
nigga
a
is
lot of
not-
motherfuckers
That's our
that ain't
issue.
shit.
That's our issue, though. We qualify everybody as ain't shit niggas and ain't shit females based off of these.
I agree with you.
These things we can't consider. You can't base it off of.
I agree.
So to your point, you mentioned lazy. What else did you say? Lazy,
Not motivated,
not doing anything with your life.
Not providing to the community. That's what.
Now, see, I would challenge that. What if they're depressed?
Come on now, because this is the point.
What
I'm
if he's
trying to make.
depressed? What if he's going through? Stop making that face, Rob.
Because that's fair.
What if that motherfucker is depressed?
Is that still his fault?
That's different from lazy.
But how you gonna know?
Because every motherfucker don't do shit.
Because if you're
'Cause he's
depressed,
depressed.
everything he's doing is going to look
Come on
just
now.
like that. It's gonna look lazy. He's gonna look unmotivated. He's gonna be playing video games all the time. He's gonna sleep
so
all the
you
time.
rethinking that
I
shit
agree.
now, right?
I agree. But,
Okay.
but I feel like the ain't shit. We need to stop saying it. Period. Then, because there's no such thing as a not shit ass person. Then.
And
That's a tough road to hoe with black
That
folks.
is what it comes down to. Ain't shit
Put your
ass,
sock- put your sock
ain't
on.
shit ass nigga is dependent on an idiosyncratic perspective of the individual person, and depending on their experiences, their perspective, what they going through, their challenges, they get the right to classify a motherfucker as an ain't shit ass nigga.
Yeah.
So that anybody could be an ain't shit ass nigga.
I think that's my point.
Yeah, to your point earlier,
Good job.
beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Ain't shit niggas are in the eye of the beholders. That's facts. That's facts.
It's a terrible real estate.
It was
Come on,
There
Rob.
are ain't shit niggas out there who are just dudes who have boundaries, who have decided
yeah.
to, I'm going to put this right here, and I won't let you go past it. And because you're not allowed to go past it, in the group chat, you're a fucking ain't shit nigga.
True,
So-
and this speaks to the entire the fallacy of an ain't shit insert a gender. Cause y'all, what's an ain't shit woman?
An ancient ass bitch.
What's an ain't shit ass woman?
Right.
Rob, I'm waiting.
Come on now.
Brian, I'm also waiting.
Y'all silent.
I'm trying to let my guests go.
I don't believe no woman is ain't shit.
I don't even think.
It's some ain't
I'll
shit
be
ass
honest
women
with
out
you,
here.
We don't
Cut
be
it out.
talking
Wait.
about women in collective like that. We don't talk about women. We talk about this
Rob,
specific woman.
now
Well, the
goddamn
ain't
it,
shit
Rob.
niggas be talking about them, but they ain't shit. Don't worry about them.
Rob, now
Look.
goddamn it, we talk every other week how you talk about women ain't shit.
Look,
Now
we're
you do
literally
specify.
Hold on. We're literally talking about a social media post, which is my argument. Is that had we not received that catalyst from the social media world, we would have been talking about the other 90% of the time things that we be talking about. It's pushed in front of you so much that you think it's really going on. But I ask you, in your personal life, the 10 men around you, how many of them ain't shit niggas?
Rob, you know I agree with you because we had this same conversation where I do not think most people are fit into the category of what social media shows. My question is, why do we engage? Because if the truth is we don't see this in real life, right? And I will say this, most of what people complain about, I don't see. Except deadbeat dads, I do see them.
Y'all mamas ain't never had discussions with their sisters in the kitchen before social media, before internet. We never seen like our moms with her sisters or her friends, and they gossiping and talking about ain't shit ass niggas. Listen. I'm urban to the death of me. I grew up in Roseland for majority of my life.
Wow.
My mother, I can tell you, used to talk about ain't shit ass niggas with her people. And that was before the internet. And they talked about it with their friends.
It to be a war, though. I don't think that means it's everybody is involved. Like a gender war means
I agree.
that we are always in conflict with each other. And I'm arguing that it's just not the case. It's just not the case.
That was the part of the point.
Wait, we gotta say this on mic. So I think that's an interesting point. And this is what you were saying earlier, right? That what we're seeing now, and this is just across social media in general, right? There's nothing new under the sun. What we're seeing is age-old conversations dialed up 100%, right?
And a brighter light.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, and a brighter light.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, because the ain't shit niggas been around since, I've been talking about ain't shit niggas since the 90s, and I was like 11 in 1990.
What little boys doing to you? What kind of shit ingrained in your head?
But that's the point. If I'm at 11 years old talking about ain't shit niggas,
Absolutely.
and I had no exposure to any boys or men, these are gifts our ancestors have passed down to us for generations about how ain't shit niggas are.
I wouldn't necessarily call them gifts.
That was
It was our
our aunties and our mamas and our grandmas.
We
yes,
were impacted by slavery. That's
But how are you
really
so
and truly because before that we didn't have this problem. We didn't speak like this. Correct. So we talking about our enslaved American colonized ancestors.
Put that Paul comment up there. I like that.
But yeah, this shit is just a trickle down effect from the shit from when they built this country.
Good. Well, first of all,
a man's love is life. A man's life, a woman's life is. I don't
get it.
Maybe I'm not smart. I don't.
Basically, the heterosexual. I don't know what I'm saying. I was just
What he's saying is,
You tried it.
A man's love is life. Like we are in love with living life. Like the whole perspective, everything, right? A woman's love. A woman's life is love. You all are born, raised to be married, have kids, blah, 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 blah. So your whole existence has been based on or taught to you to be about finding a man, getting married, having kids, raising a family.
That's true.
We're not getting that. We're getting go get a job, as many as women as you can, make this money,
true.
travel, passport bros, all that shit.
That's true.
It goes back to the saying that a boy is not raised. A boy is taught to be, whereas a girl is raised. And what that breaks down to is we got socially constructed to do certain things. Whereas you tell the boy, just be. Be everything you want to be. Explore. Figure things out for yourself. Girls got strict rules and borders and
somebody about to argue
finite opportunities on how they can be. Cross your legs. Boys can just sit however they want.
Oh, somebody about to push back on that.
You better keep them legs closed. You better put on some shorts.
Look at Rob. Rob about to explode.
I'm a female.
You holding it.
Rob is about to explode.
Rob, what you think about that? What you think about that, Rob?
I think she's absolutely right. Women are cultured in that way. They are made in that way. The same way that men are cultured to go to war. So it's yin and yang to everything.
I think I disagree with I do agree women are raised in that way. But I do think men are also raised to what? Not show emotion. Mm-hmm. Barely show affection. Mm-hmm. You have to be strong. You have to be tough. You have to be Teflon.
Yeah,
you have to beat people up, right?
Lying up fucking hurt family. Yes, that's what.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily disagree that boys can kind of go out and explore and be, but they do also get some very concrete. Absolutely. You must be these things.
There's some boundaries, sure.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna say that's worse for black men.
Absolutely.
I dated white guys for a portion of my life.
Why you stutter? Why you
sorry?
Because she aggressive.
There's nothing wrong with white men.
You played in the snow. Go ahead.
Let's not make it an issue.
You played in the snow.
But it is totally fucking different. And when I say it is totally fucking different, now there are some hyper masculine white guys, but for the most part, even keel, show emotion, sensitive, gentle. Not to say black men can't be these things.
I'm all these things.
But they can't be these things.
But they can't be these things. Totally fucking different.
I don't know how.
Don't hold your head down, Rob.
Rob, I don't even know what that.
Rob got his head down. Come on.
What's your sample set?
Wait, say that again?
What's your sample set for which you have derived these conclusions? How many white men
me?
You dated?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've dated at least 6 white guys in my lifetime, ranging from the ages of 37 to 50.
Yes.
I'm 36. I was in my late 20s, early 30s during this time frame. Mm-hmm. My grandfather is a white Jewish man. And what I would tell you is from the experiences that I have had with white guys compared to dating black men, totally different dynamics. I ain't gonna even add that part. If I'm saying even liberty and freedom to be a certain type of woman, it's even different. As a black woman dating a black man, there's certain things that's blocked off, or that's, I want to use LGBTQ to express this, but it's probably not a good example to do that. There's certain things that women are when they are with amongst other women. They can express themselves in a certain way. They can portray themselves in a certain way. When you put that same woman with a black man, for instance, and I'm not saying all black men, I'm not generalizing this, right? But the culture of blackness states that black women have to be a certain thing to black men and vice versa. When you take that black woman and put her with a white guy, you can look at the conversations that are across several different platforms. There is so much freedom to just be and not have to be that thing. Mm. And I mean, I wish I could give you a phrase or a word that could express this a lot better for you, but I'm telling you, it blew my mind. It was the thing that kept me. I dated one white guy and I felt this thing of like, oh my God.
Do you feel like you were any different to that white man than you are to black man?
I do not. And the thing about it was I was still power to the people with the white guys. I was educating them. I was schooling. That was probably the only difference, is they couldn't relate to my actual experiences as an urban black woman. Yeah. So having to go into the details, and I'll be honest, there was some racial conversations that was like, oh, I ain't fucking with your ass no more. But it was just different. I've also, so I identify as queer in my experiences with dating a woman. Again, it's a level of freedom to just be. You don't have to portray a vivacious, sexual, subservient, reaffirming a black man type of woman. And that, I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm speaking from my experiences only. That was not the case dating a woman. Dating a woman for me was very synonymous with dating a white guy.
That was kind of my question, is what your sample said. So I think that is an experience that you're describing for yourself.
Absolutely. Only can speak from my
I don't know if we
experiences.
can extrapolate that to the rest of all of our community. I know ain't no white man on this planet had to walk in a black man's shoes. And just because of that, he's going to show up different in life. He doesn't have half the concerns that we have living in this country. Definitely don't have half the threats that we have living in this country. So I don't.
How does that relate to the interconnection of man and woman? Because as a black woman, I do. Black women, if you ask me, are lower than the black men on the totem pole.
Oh God! Now we're gonna have to.
Oh shit! Did I start?
No, you're fine.
It is in most black men, especially as they escalate through life and grow, they become softer as well. Now, the funny thing is, I play ball with about 17 white guys every Saturday, once on during the week as well. And them some trash niggas. I see how they date, right? I see how they date. I see how they use those women in their community. I see how they. I just think they got great PR team. I just think they got a great fucking marketing department behind them, mostly because they control the marketing about who they are. But ain't no brutal person in this world, in my opinion, than a white man. Right? Remember, Brian said the worst of them came over here. Right? And they passed that worst down. And to suggest that those men in some way are softer, when they are also the initiators of most of the pain and hurt that goes around this fucking world, and you calling them soft.
I didn't call him soft. I just said it was different. She said what she said was, or at least what I understood,
there was definitely an indication that it was different in a positive way.
Is that problematic?
I don't have no problem with it at all. I just don't think it's real. I think you have a sample set that's very, very small.
Well, wait, I've only dated one white guy, and it was for like 2 dates, so I cannot comment on whether I've experienced that too, right? But I have talked to many black men who have echoed very similar comments that she has, that dating white women is not like dating black women. They don't have the same level of expectations, and there's some, I've heard it explained as being easier.
Brian, you ever dated a white woman?
Because it's like
no.
Well, right, like I mean,
hold on. Let me ask you another question. Let me follow this up. Brian, you ever slept with a white woman?
Yes.
So
those are two different questions.
I'm gonna exit out of this conversation. You know why? My dick's pretty racist, and I don't date white women. And I don't know. I never will. Never had a desire to. May have knocked off a one or two. But this whole getting deep into a relationship with a person that don't have the melanin I got, I've never even thought it was a possibility.
But you could share your body with them?
Well,
your temple?
Man, you about to ask men a question that we are not.
What's that question?
Is that not like an oxymoron to say I could never share my life with a white woman? I could never have a partnership with them, but I could fuck them. The most intimate thing, if you have any level of spirituality, any level of religion,
assume we don't.
That shit gives you a foundation that your body is a temple. That is one of the most intimate, most sacred things that you could give to another individual. And so, and if you believe that souls intertwine within that action, for you to say to me, oh, I could never date a white woman, but I could fuck one. That is so like, woo.
Well, we'd have to agree with.
You want to explore that?
we'd have to agree with your assessment that we have all the spirituality linked to that
I was
that
gonna
act,
say
which
that.
I'm going to say most of us do not.
Don't.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
And in my defense, I went to a Big Ten PWI, and you get complimentary white girls upon entry. I didn't know any better, and it was not my fault.
First of all, I went to the same PWI, and there's plenty of black people. You ain't got to fuck no white people.
Whoa. You misunderstood what I said, because I did that too. What I'm saying is, when you walk on campus, you get a care package. You get a U of I sweatshirt and a white girl. I'm just telling you what you get.
I'm a woman, so I clearly did not get.
You didn't get it.
That when I stepped on U of I's cap.
I'm just not going to allow that to be the benchmark. Like, if you have any level of spirituality, well, I mean, but if I was Catholic, I'd probably like boys, right? So the spirituality, a lot of wrongness comes from being in spirituality. A lot of sexual harms comes from spirituality too.
That's religion.
That's not the same.
That is not the same.
That's
religion. Yes, the Catholic Church ran prostitution, pornography, and all that. When I let me clarify. I am not. I'm non-denominational. I believe in God. I have a relationship with God. What you're talking about is religion.
You're a minority then. Because most of us are just when we.
It don't matter if you have a relationship with God. If you see yourself reflected in God's image and you believe in a higher power, right? You're talking of religion. What I'm speaking of, you have to have these ideals. If you believe in the spirit, do you believe in the spirit?
Which ones?
Do you believe that you have a spirit that lives inside your human body?
That's another show.
That's a whole nother topic.
Wait, let's go.
That's a whole nother fucking topic. We sorry.
Quite honestly, they did kind of hit most of these.
We sorry.
I don't think we've gotten down to the bottom, or at least everybody else hasn't really talked about, like, why do we engage in this? Yes, there are people making money off of it. I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about Mike and Jeff. I'm not talking about them, right? I'm talking about the Robs and the Bryans and the Twos and the Michelle and the Lances. Why? I'm going to you, Rob. Why are we so fixated on being part of that discourse? Why are we so amped up to tell women, y'all need to make better choices, or y'all need to stop dating men for financial reasons? Why are we so hung up on constantly having these conversations over and over again every single day?
Because we're bored.
What'd you say, Rob?
I think a large majority of our lives are surrounded around relationships in a lot of different ways. Like, this is people that you spend the most time with, the most commitment with, years wise. You're probably gonna be with a partner longer than you are with a job. Like, I think it's just things that interest us, and I also think it's how we express ourselves when we're angry. I think Brian said earlier that a lot of the times we're just doing this because we're in a space, and we don't describe the 9 or 10 good spaces we were in before we got to this negative space. Everybody hear about their friends' bullshit. Nobody hear about the breakfast that was cooked. Nobody heard about the car that was washed. We just Facebooking the shit that's meaning.
I can agree with that.
B.
I mean, it's a lot, and I think too, and Michelle just said some things that were interesting. Ron Thomo, if you want, but I think we said. I think sometimes it's boredom, and it's sad that in our boredom, this is what we fill our spaces with. But that it's true. It's what we do. I'm gonna be honest. The reason I kind of get dragged back into these things, I scroll past a lot of them, and I'm like, I'm not doing this shit today. I'm not gonna do it. And then somebody says some outrageous shit that I just can't let it go, and now I'm back in the conversation. And it's just like that.
This is me on Twitter, Brian. I get it. Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, but why? I mean, I want us to really reflect. I have a theory, but I want us to really reflect. Why are we so amped to engage?
I'm here to
I
teach.
think we condition.
I'm here to educate. I'm here to enlighten. And when I just see somebody saying something that's so completely off base, I just want to bring that sister into the light. That's all I want to do.
By telling her that her expectations are too high, and she needs to
I didn't say all that.
I'm just saying that's an example.
By telling her that her limited scope does not speak for everybody in every experience.
It's a small sample.
But this is what people. It's a small sample. And what people do is when you apply it and then put it out in the world as a fact, I can't allow it. I got to say that's a factual experience for you. But there are plenty of men that do the things you're looking for. There are plenty of men that are worse than the things you've experienced. There's a spectrum of these things. And I just like to bring a little clarity to that. Now, they often don't want to hear that clarity and devolves into some bullshit. But I'm here for the bullshit. I enjoy it.
That's why you fucking do it. Now, that's actually why he does it. All the other shit was, I was just about to be like, that's some bullshit from the depths of hell. That last part is why he does it.
It's my pleasure.
What's your theory?
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so here's my theory, right? My theory is right now we all are really pissed off at each other. Whether we show that in our relationships or not, men are pissed at women and women are pissed at men, right? Not saying these things are new, but it is, right? And I think there's a large part of us that really wants to believe a lot of these narratives, regardless of whether we experience that in life, right? Yeah. I think most men, if you actually ask them how many women they ran down who were trying to use them for money, the subset is very small.
Small.
But men get really fucking pissed.
Yes, they do.
When a man has to pay child support. This motherfucker makes $1 billion. He has to pay $30,000 a month. And all men get in an uproar. Who needs $30,000 to raise a child? The nigga's a billionaire. Who gives a fuck? Right? But we are all just so hell-bent on marginalizing the other gender. And we all feed off that and we fucking find that fun. And I want us all to just be honest about that. We have fun sitting around telling men, y'all are weak and y'all ain't shit. And you all also enjoy going back at women and saying, you ain't shit either.
I enjoy telling men they ain't shit. I enjoy telling people they ain't shit.
But that's my theory. I think we all just buy into this bullshit because it feeds our ego. To be able to tell the other one, you ain't shit and I'm better than you.
I'm going to add to that. In conjunction with what you just said, it's easier for us to do that than to do this.
Yeah.
When one finger points this way, 4 point back at you.
Because if I can point at you,
thought it was 3.
I get to deflect from the choices that I made to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Because then that says something about me.
Now we getting there.
And we can't.
Now we talking.
We can speak truth to other people, but it's very difficult for us to receive that same truth to self.
Yeah.
Because self never does anything wrong. What y'all talking about?
But we do stuff, but there's always a reason.
It's always justifiable, right? And until
all the fuck boys fool me.
Exactly. And until we can come to a place where we say, you know what? This really don't even have nothing to do with that person. This was really me and my fucked up choices. And I need to grow and develop and be better. It's going to be always easy for us to do this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's
Look at us digging. Look at us.
Rob, you said something we didn't hear you. No, there you go. There you go. Sage this whole room. Cleanse the spirits.
I hate you. You were going to ask Rob something.
Oh, I thought Rob was saying something I didn't hear.
All right.
No, after that, I'm about to light an incense.
And you know what's funny? Since we brought up this colonial time, our people pre-colonial.
You said we. It wasn't we.
Wait a minute. So, okay, I'm gonna say blacks. People.
Since you brought it up.
Okay, since I brought up colonial time, what's so significant about that is pre-colonial time, that ancient cultures believed heavily in self-reflection, heavily in let me see what I can do to be better, which is why there was much more unity, which was why there was a collective. And we have stemmed so far away from that.
Let me ask this to that point.
We know why, but I'm not even going to jump on that soapbox today. Because it's always the same.
I'm not going to mess with you either. To that point, we, as a culture, at least black culture, I think we've embraced therapy.
Yes. Slowly.
It's creeping in, right?
Yes.
It's not. If somebody says they're at therapy right now, seeking counseling or whatever, it's not the taboo thing it used to be, right?
Yes.
Not as much so.
Not as much so.
Do you think that we are on a track back towards the point you just raised of this enlightened self-reflection that we need to have?
Yes. Okay, so yes, I do. And the best way that I can answer that is, this is me. Rob, don't attack me. My spirituality, not yours. So, yes, in my studies, I do a lot of studying different religions, ancient to Christianity.
I know two was gonna say that. Go ahead. I'm
But-
sorry.
and
Therapy is bullshit.
Yeah, he always says that.
And within those studies, you find more truth and more understanding in the older ancient cultures, religions, right? So Hinduism, for instance, talks specifically about a time where our people are going to be in great opposition. There's going to be great war. There's going to be so much shit going on. And if you look at our times now, shit, just the last decade, it mimics everything that those scriptures say, right? It also talks about the golden age.
Worse than the World Wars?
Huh?
Worse than the World Wars?
That's a part of all of it. The
I'm just saying that I think
going back to the 1400s to now, all of that can be illustrated in Hinduism scriptures, right? We ain't got to break that down. Just hit me when I say this. There's also a period called the
More
Golden
Hindu
Age.
than anything
And
else.
it says, once we reach this tipping point where there is no morality, where there is great oppositions amongst people, various people, amongst gender, amongst everything in the world, there's going to be a place where the Enlightenment period kicks in and you're going to slowly see change. And in some of the ways that I put that into play right now, yes, you got a lot more woke people. You got a lot more self-reflecting people. To your point, it used to be a great taboo, and it still is amongst the older generations, but the younger generations are saying, y'all, it's enough of this shit. Trauma is enough, right? We got to start transitioning. And you see the younger generations come up. I have a 3-year-old daughter. My baby would tell you, let's talk, let's meditate, Mom. Let's do this, Mom. Never had that in my childhood, right?
Isn't
So
that more
yes, I think
environmental than anything, though? Isn't that because you're educating her in that way?
So are you
can't just come off the
suggesting
room
that
like-
my education plays a role into that? Because my mom is hella fucking educated, and so is my dad.
No. That you are projecting that outward. Like, she's learning that from you, right? Who else is she learning that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But why am I doing that? Because I could just fall in line with my older generation. Why am I doing that?
Too. Sorry, reading two's comment.
No, we don't. No, that's. Why are you doing it?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's because I think we are headed into a space where we choose enough of this shit. We could very well fall in line with our parents, our grandparents, and because they didn't believe in that shit, right? But we say,
Better
you know
pray it
what?
away.
Exactly. Go in the room, talk to Jesus.
Talk to Jesus.
We done with that shit. You even see a lot of black people, no shade to nobody's religion or beliefs, but you see people choosing to say, I ain't just gotta go to Jesus. This could be so much bigger than that. So yes, I think we are headed into an enlightened period, and I'm excited about it.
Okay.
Oh.
I felt your energy rise. I ain't mad about it. I'm not mad about it.
Rob?
Yeah, I think Revelations is always on its way. Like, I don't think. Yeah, I think it's cyclical. I think we're gonna go through these times. I think it's hard to say that. When I examine that idea, I'm not looking at one subset of people, right? I'm looking at the fact that 8 million people voted for Donald Trump, right? Like, there's a lot of the world is becoming more and more nuts. Bolsonaro, they just elected a new demagogue down south. I don't see that hope for enlightenment just because it's magnified on Twitter. I think we're making regressive decisions right now as a society.
B?
No, I can see that. I can definitely see that perspective. I think the middle ground is disappearing, and I think
People
everything's so polarizing, and we going super left or super right. And social media is playing a part in that, right? Like you can't have I use this as an example. Justin Fields. Anybody that's a football fan right now, everybody's like, you either love Justin Fields or he sucks, right? There's no middle ground about, yeah, he got some flaws and he's got some good, right? It's you pick a side, you plant your flag, and no matter what nobody says, that's where you're at. And I kind of think that's how it's training us to be in life, right? You plant your flag, you pick a side, and it is what it is. And we're eliminating discourse, we're eliminating open conversation. We're not we're not having our minds adjusted, shifted, changed. We're not allowing for that to even be a space because we've already picked this side. That's what it is, right? So I'm not saying that it wasn't always that way. People have always been that way to an extent, but particularly on social media, you gotta. That's it. You say, "Oh, you know what? I was wrong." How do you see that shit on social media?
I never see it. I do it often though. They're like, "Oh, my bad."
I would say that's what makes me believe that there is an enlightened period. There's a video clip of a black lady and a white guy in a Church's Chicken restaurant, and they going at it.
Oh, I just saw that.
Yeah,
I just saw that.
And then it ended. You thinking they about to fight? It's about to go down. And the man said, "You know what? I apologize." And she said, "Come on, give me love."
Yeah.
And they end up hugging. The lady was like squared up, ready to fight this man. And they end up hugging in love at the end of it. And so for me, that right there, it don't have to be the majority. But that is a depiction of there is an opportunity for us to get there. Ego is the devil. Ego is the devil.
I'm about to have a 2 moment.
Ego's always hurting.
I am going to be the pessimist in this question. And here's why. I think until, and I'm only going to speak for black people because white people got to deal with their own shit. I think until black people give up patriarchy and white supremacy, it's going to be incredibly hard for us to get enlightened. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't disagree with you.
We love patriarchy. We love it. We love misogyny. We love it. And shout out to two. We love misandry.
It's a wrap.
I'm with you on the capitalism.
We like capitalism.
I'm with that.
We love it.
We ain't gonna make it.
So sorry. It's gonna be very difficult for us to get enlightened.
Dylan's, I like
right?
That too. Yeah, put that on.
It's. I did say misandry.
Shut up, talk. Go ahead.
So until we are willing to give up those things, it's gonna be incredibly hard for us to get truly enlightened. Can we evolve past where we are? Sure. Can we learn to be nicer to each other? Sure. Can we learn to be more reflective? Absolutely. But until we give up them goddamn pillars, it's just gonna be refried patriarchy, misogyny, white supremacy.
Well, I already told you that shit ain't happening. So
there we go.
What if the system kills itself though?
How would it happen?
So capitalism, right? Mm-hmm. Capitalism is based on the economy in which we do business. You can't make money if this business ain't doing money. What if, hypothetically speaking, this shit crashes so much so that there is no rebuild? If you guys pay attention to the political world that's happening, countries are saying fuck the United States. Where we was the crown king in the economy world, big powers are saying fuck y'all. So you got cryptocurrency coming into the game. You got new currency from the new nations, the new groups.
new powers. Mm-hmm.
What if we don't have to choose? What if the shit destroys itself?
Yeah, but if I think you're referring to how, what is it?
It's misinformation.
What's it, Rob?
That's the whole scare about the dollar. The dollar is powerful because we kick ass.
It's losing value, baby, every year.
We ain't never. We're the biggest bully on the planet. We're not gonna let our dollar do that. We are the users of nuclear bombs. Like we're the only.
But here's the thing, right? Even if, I'm not saying it will, but even if the dollar did lose value, guess what that means? There's another superpower. Now there's another bully. So
I agree.
What do we just gonna shift bullying? We gonna shift patriarchy? We just gonna shift capitalism? Because that's all that's gonna happen. If China becomes the new superpower, guess what? They're gonna be the new capitalists.
Are they gonna hate on their women like we do?
They already do.
I'm about to say
I'm bringing this back to the topic at hand.
The difference to me though is
that was my
if that does happen, it gives new powers to be. The powers to be have always been the creators of this shit, right? And if you pass over the powers to be to another group that has a whole different ideals. Communists, even though we gonna go into the political realms of communism initially started as a space to say common value to every man. Every man is well taken care of. Nobody has way more than the other person. Everybody is even killed, right? And while that was destroyed, it still came to fruition. It still passed on certain ideals that promoted a healthier humanity. So who's to say, when I think about cryptocurrency, I think about, ooh, it's going to be a bunch of new people that become billionaires. That opportunity in our existing economy could never fucking exist. Because there's only so many shares of shit you could get, and there's only so much money you can get without having that type of control. So if we dismantle this system of capitalism, and we open in the door to something different, something more, it goes back to the trade routes, right? It goes back to the original indigenous people that traded, barter and trade, right? Then you see the Anglo-Saxon come in, take the fuck over. Now big capitalism takes over. I believe in evolution.
You don't see that happen in your lifetime. We understand that.
It may not happen in my lifetime, and I don't disagree with you on that. But if I've seen it in my past, and I've seen it in our history, then I gotta know that it could be the potential to come in my future. Mm-hmm. I'm not that I don't want to say narrow-minded, but I'm not. It's not that hopeless of a world for us to just assume this is it. This is all it's gonna ever be, because this wasn't always it. This transformed and evolved into this.
I got a question that you just asked, actually, and I wanna bring this back to the
topic. I was gonna try to, but
this is kind of so. I mentioned China and how they gonna treat their women as a way to kind of bring us back. Mm-hmm. And you said they already treat their women bad.
They
said, do they? Are the women complaining? Or are they treating them bad based on your perspective of how women should be treated?
Now, see, these are the kind of questions that are stupid. I'm sorry to. Because somebody being treated poorly, regardless of whether the person knows they're being treated poorly or not, does not negate the poor treatment. Sorry. You see women getting abused all the time. You're not going to say, well, she's fine with this, so I'm not going to call it abuse. No, you'd call that shit abuse. Yes. If you saw a child being abused, you wouldn't say, well, the child's not saying nothing, so it must be fine. No, it's fucking abuse.
Yes.
So please, let's not do these word semantics.
Yes.
Poor behavior is poor behavior regardless of whether the person receiving the behavior understands that or not.
I agree.
Thank you for coming for time. What the fuck? I hate that damn question so bad.
Go ahead with your. I just want to see you rap for a hot second.
Very patriarchal question there. Misogynistic question.
I didn't ask it. I just.
He was just reading it.
I saw that bullshit. I was gonna ignore it.
I wasn't gonna let you.
But I do agree with two. I'm gonna say this, and this is the last thing we're gonna say about capitalism. Billionaires are the problem. People wanting exorbitant levels of wealth are the problem, and that actually is the part that needs to be dismantled.
The 1%.
Anyway, back to men and women hating each other.
I love women.
Rob, is there any good that can come out of all this discourse? Is it healthy that we're doing all this fucking debating?
I think there is some good that comes out of it. I think there's any good that comes out of any discourse if you actually try to siphon it out of there. I think I like the idea that men are saying I'm more than just women. Right? I like that idea. That's propagating this. But a lot of this gender war is like, hey, I got to get more than just spending something. I think that's a good idea. I like the point about men becoming more in tune with who they are emotionally, right? I think that's something that's coming out of that. As much as I also think it's your algorithm that you might need to fix too, right? Because if you're seeing a disproportionate amount of that shit, you got to stop double tapping on the shit that's going to end up in your algorithm, right? So if you only looked at pictures of cats, the algorithm will give you 80% pictures of cats, right? So maybe you have to be more conscious of what you're ingesting. Or at least always keep in mind that all this shit is just entertainment.
And maybe that's the thing.
Are
you entertained?
Absolutely. That's why you keep going back to it.
Keisha, is there any good in all this?
I agree with Rob totally. The hopes for me would be, because I know when I read that shit, I'd be like, how do I do this? I'm self-reflecting, because there's a lot of angry women. There's a lot of angry men. And it may, I am a very happy-go-lucky, high-energy person. And when I see stuff like that, it's just such a downer. And you really do have to reflect to say, so, do we do this? Is this a bit extreme? Can we be better? So, absolutely. Align with Rob 100% on that one.
What was the question?
Co-hostess and the hostess? Is there any?
If you call me co-hostess one more time, there's gonna be some furniture moving in this month.
Why can't you be co-hostess with the roasters?
Can I be co-host with the most? You know, I have to.
The hostess part.
Yes, the hostess.
Oh, I'm
part.
sorry. I didn't mean
Word,
to
word,
feminize you.
word,
My bad.
word.
You the one kicking off the gender wars. See,
I know, see, right now.
Lord.
Respect my masculinity, damn it.
Oh my God.
Is
Man,
it what?
is there any good in this?
I mean, I agree with Rob. I think to the point, any discourse can, there can be value in it if you're willing to sift through it and get the golden nuggets that you need to get out of it. Unfortunately, I think most people aren't. I think people find their tribes in these conversations and like, I knew I was right. That motherfucker ain't shit. Them niggas ain't shit. It ain't me. It's them niggas.
them niggas.
So I think people, and it ain't me. It's them nigga bitches. Like it's you find
Not nigga bitch ass niggas.
No, because I think Jamal made a point earlier. We call them niggas and we call them women. Nigga women. Niggas, women, niggas too.
That's not how y'all use the language, but that's
how I
fine.
do.
No, not how y'all use the
I do,
word. Them
but
some bitches.
Bitch ass niggas. Niggas ass bitches. So anyway, my point is, I think we find solace and a community in whatever lane. Again, once you pick the side, that you like. Oh yeah, I feel validated now. In my feelings more so than you take a step back and say, like we were saying, I'm gonna point that way instead of pointing this way, and it just helps validate all that more than anything. But when we have these conversations, and personally, I can only speak for me personally, and I was often unaware of how many people in my life have been affected by abuse in some way, shape, or form. How many women that I know have suffered at the hands of a man in certain ways that I consider. I always thought was outside my fault, outside of my. Like I knew it happened, but not my people. Yeah, my people too. So it really, in that way, it did wake me up to say, all right. That's closer to home than I'm even really comfortable with, and I try to feel and empathize, sympathize with ladies around that type of thing. But in general, nah.
You with the shit.
No. I'm just saying. I think people don't want to self-reflect. So
Yeah.
If Stacy and Kim and Tracy and Josephine and all them, they seeing the same shit. They saying the same shit I'm saying.
Yep.
My shit got to be right.
I will say that I'm going to hop off because got to exit for a second. To your point, and actually this podcast in general has allowed me to be able to really listen to men. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say y'all don't be saying some bullshit on Facebook because y'all absolutely positively do, right? But there will be moments during the day where I will see a post that a man posts and I'm paused because it's something I didn't think about. It's something I didn't consider that men are going through or thinking about or feeling. And it gives me the opportunity to be able to hear them more clearly than I've ever allowed myself to hear a man. So I do find some of the conversation helpful. I also find some of the conversation hella draining. But even if, you know what, thinking through what I just said, I think if I even step back for the shit that I found draining, I think there's some nuggets in there too.
Yep.
In the same way.
Yep.
Where there are some men who are poorly expressing a hurt or a complaint that they have around women. And just because of how they structure their sentences, it's triggering for me. So there's still some work for me to do to be able to hear what's actually trying to be communicated in those posts.
Self-reflection.
I like that. Like what I said, I ain't paying for no more meals in 2024. Wallet's up. Did you embrace that?
Nigga, your wallet is still coming down when I'm around.
See, this is what I'm saying.
All right, continue, hostess with the mostest.
Where you going?
I have to use the bathroom.
Oh, I'm gonna say you just abandoning the show. What the hell's going on? And I told you we called me hostess. All right. So, again, we're coming up on time. Do we think? And you touched on this earlier. Do we think this will ever end? Is there a way we can end? Probably not, because somebody's always gonna be mad at the other sex about something. But is there any way we can move this conversation forward more swiftly, so we can at least get past some of this bullshit?
But now that after what Chantel just said, I don't even really think it's anger no more. Like they be crying for it's actually a cry for help.
Oh, this nigga's crying for
Come
help.
on now.
Them be crying for help.
You better speak that thing.
They don't be really angry, just don't know how to express it.
Come on now.
Interesting.
I'm 100% in agreement with
They
that.
just cry for help.
And-
Until we start loving each other, and we all gonna keep crying for help until we come together and
Come
love each
on, black man.
other.
Come
It's all
on.
crying for help, G. That's all.
It's
And
like,
that's it. And until we don't personalize that shit,
And you know how some kids still like the kids. They show out when they need.
they
some
show out,
kids
have a
out.
temper tantrum.
Look at you, Ron.
Come on.
Oh, Ron,
And
come on,
sometimes
producer.
They don't even know why. Like when the kid's sleepy,
No.
they don't know why. They don't know why.
Yep.
Crying,
Yes.
acting a fool.
I 100%, 1,000% agree with
we
that.
Tired.
But until we can become a
We busting
people,
our ass off for this capitalism.
Look, Ron on his box now. You producing, boy. You ain't on this show.
we have to learn how to give grace. For people that can't speak or verbalize their real feelings, we have to learn how to not personalize everything. And we got to work on that. It all goes back to self-reflection. Triggers. That's it. How you about to... You better say that thing.
Come on, Rob. No, you had to pee. Shut up.
Sorry,
Sorry, it was either gonna be a puddle
Yeah.
on this floor or a puddle in the toilet.
Ron said
That-
that is really he followed your lead and said, so really and truly, it's not a war. It is people's cry for help.
Ooh.
Wasn't it good? And he used an analogy comparing kids when they sleepy or when they trying to do something and they have temper tantrums and they cry.
And they can't
Got
verbalize.
infection. You don't know why they crying.
You need a podcast, sir. That was insightful.
I've been thinking about it. Y'all. I've been
He
thinking
gave
about
gold right there. He gave gold
What we gonna
right
say, Rob?
there.
I would liken it to with the whole I ain't going 50-50 or women who want all their men. Like what they really are communicating is I want to feel protected. I want to feel financially secure and safe. I don't want to have lots of up and downs.
Yep.
I understand that there's going to be up and downs, but I want them to be as infrequent as possible, and I want to make sure that you can lead us in that way. But they
Not
get
only
words-
Not only that, one of the things I hear when all the discourse, right, whether it's a man complaining about women only wanting them for their money or women saying, I want you to pay for this, everybody just wants to feel like they're valued. Yeah. People don't want to feel like they're being used, and they don't want to feel like they're a toy. Yeah. So people put up these unrealistic expectations, and I will say some of them are unrealistic, to protect themselves from feeling
less than
vulnerable in that kind of a way, because everybody wants to be special.
Yes,
but it's also a reflection of these ideas being pushed through our through our community as a result of these little things here, right? Because everybody don't even subscribe to the shit that they reposted and posted.
That's true.
Is the truth? It's really an outward kind of, I get to be somebody that I don't even believe in. It's like going to Vegas for the weekend, but fucking do this thing. I heard.
Shout out to Smith Jones.
That boy wild as hell, by the way.
I know.
Somebody need to take his phone away from him because he crazy.
All right. Are we ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. We at time.
All right. I think we can just end with final thoughts. We'll let the newbie whose cherry has officially been popped. Did you enjoy your time on ITZ?
I loved y'all.
Oh, you coming back?
you.
Don't you even?
Oh, thank you so much.
You brought some sense to a senseless conversation. That's a hard thing to do on this show.
I love this dialogue, you guys. I think this is the thing that can step us into the enlightened stage. We're having the conversation. It's a safe space. There's disagreements, but we still come into common ground. That was beautiful.
All right.
I was about to say, who brought kids to the studio? I thought we had stashed them in the closet over there. I was like, we abusing the kids.
Listen, they've been decent for an hour and 20 minutes, bro. You gotta give them
It just threw me off because it was so quiet in here.
Rob, final thoughts.
I agree. I'm glad we had this discussion. I do think you brought some insightful points in terms of tracing it back. We just got to understand that there's somebody behind the curtain that's trying to puppeteer us in a way about how we should be feeling about men, each other, women, our community. Like there's somebody who has that thumb on the scale, and if you always keep that in mind when you ingest in this shit, it should let you parse out a little bit better the stuff that's real versus the stuff that's just magnified for their intent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I think somebody said this earlier. I can't remember who said it out. It might have been our super producer. Said that it's an agenda, right?
I did.
Yes.
I always say that.
Everything's an agenda.
I know everything's
For a
agenda.
minute.
But I do agree. And I know Rob is saying man and not one person's behind a control board doing this. But there is definitely agenda in this country, if not this world, to make us propagate our own demise. So I to that point, yeah, Rob, I completely agree. But then Rod, I think, hit it on the head. Like the point of the day for me was I will revision these things as I have these conversations going on. Like these are cries for help, right? Like this is my pain coming out on this keyboard, and I'm shooting shots because I'm firing off because I don't know any other way to express it.
Yep.
So I'm not. You know what? You're gonna see me handle these conversations differently moving
Bullshit.
forward. I am.
Look at right now, he type one.
That's right.
Not the wrong eyebrow.
Nigga, what?
This week, you guys get this nigga from
I ain't
Friday.
gonna listen, I ain't gonna say forever. I'm not, Rob. I agree. I'm not
about this week.
I'm not gonna say forever, but I'm going to attempt. Let me say
I love
to
it.
enter these conversations in a different way till they piss me off. Then I'm gonna go back to who I am. But
Just log off. Just
yeah,
log off.
yeah. But you know what? It's interesting though. There's one person that we've all interacted with on a very large scale. She's been on the show and she's watching right now. You about to know who I'm talking about. That I've always felt that way about, right? Like I've always felt like she's been hurt, and this is that hurt manifested on the keyboard. But that's because I know her personally, and I give her that grace. I'm gonna start trying to get that to everybody.
I love it.
Oh,
Look at the enlightening
shout out to
period
her
already happening.
who shall
Look at
remain
that.
nameless. Honestly, I don't have any way to wrap this up. You guys did a fantastic job. I think this is an opportunity. Hopefully, the audience feels
Not for you, Michelle. I'm joning your ass
except for
every
two.
day.
Two is not going to change. But I hope we all start seeing this as an opportunity to have dialogues with people. If they say bitches need to be at home cooking, like, don't start with who hurt you, because that's just not it, right?
No.
It's not the way.
That's not good.
Perhaps
Did they eat today?
perhaps we should just dig in a little and see what's really behind all of this, if they're articulate enough to answer it. Now, if they just are, just keep on scrolling. It's not worth your time.
It's gonna be hard to control this snark, but I'm gonna try.
Oh, and next week, we want to tell them about next week? We're going to have a conversation. Taraji done drudged up all that pay inequality stuff. So let's have a conversation about pay inequality in Hollywood. Is it really a thing? Because I did see a couple of podcasts where they said it was bullshit. But is it a thing? And how widespread is it, honestly?
Yeah, we've got some people that are industry insiders that are gonna come and shine some light on that. Particularly, I was just talking shit about Vivica Fox yesterday.
Why? Because she was like, "Fuck that hoe."
No, that was like I ain't seen no pay disparity. I'm sure Auto Shield is paying you a lot of goddamn money, Vivica. Stay in your lane. But anyway,
Jesus Christ.
we'll hold that till next week.
Hey, Vivica will be on our show next week.
I hope so. She got time. So
We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Everybody have a fabulous week. Enjoy your Martin Luther King Day.